Hey, what's going on, everyone? We are live from Mindset Monday. And today, what we're going to talk about is when things start working and when you start building a little bit of momentum,
Mhm.
it's very, very easy to lose sight and lose track of, you know, what the end goal is, right? You start winning, you start feeling really good about yourself, and then you start doing things that are taking you away from your goal, right? You stop doing those little things that got you there. And it's really easy to see. I saw this in sales. I've seen this my entire life. Somebody has like their best month ever, okay, because they're really putting the work, they're researching the clients, they're making all the calls, they're not letting anything slip by. They're doing all the little things they have to do day in and day out, all the little necessary things to win and build momentum. They start building that momentum, start really making some money, and then all of a sudden they stop doing what got them there.
Yeah.
Right? It's a glass ceiling, right? You celebrating too early. You know, you closed a couple deals, you did a couple really good things, and things are going well, and you are making it seem like, hey, you've arrived. The truth is, it's still day one. You're still getting started. So many people fall into this trap, and I've done it myself. Right, where you take your foot off the gas, and then that little bit of time that you're not on the accelerator, you start losing momentum, and then you start going back the other way, right? And so your life constantly looks like this, and you don't know why. Well, that's why you're celebrating the wins too early, and you're not staying consistent with what's getting you there. And a lot of people fall into that trap. Dave, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, man. Great stuff right there. I think the biggest mistake that when people come in and they start having a little bit of success, right? It's like you said, it's almost like you won the Super Bowl. Tom Brady has a really great quote when they said, "Hey, man, you won the Super Bowl. What's next?" And he's like, "On to the next one." He's like, "What's your favorite one?" The next one. He's
Yeah.
always constantly looking down. Hey, what are we doing? What are we going to double down? Why? Because even in football's a great correlation. It's hard to repeat, man. Like, it is hard to repeat. So you got to do what it takes to double down and continuously get there. If you want another football analogy, most teams, after they win a Super Bowl, they have a terrible year the next year. Terrible year, right? Well, hey, we arrived. We're going to be good. We're going to make it back to the playoffs, right? And then they end up going 5-12, and then they're on the bench for the offseason, wondering, oh shit, like, what are we doing here? Happened to the Eagles, right? My area, people still stew over that. But it's the truth, man. And you are one, and it's unfortunate, and I don't wish this vibe on anyone, but you're usually one decision away to really just spend all this money on ridiculous stuff for something to happen either in your business or in your life to just take you down. And people don't prepare for that. I think the biggest thing that anybody should do coming up and growing a business, growing a brand, it takes time. Forget all this internet stuff that you can do it overnight. You really need to live below your means as much as possible, eat dirt for a few years, build that up, build that up. And Jonathan, you and I talk about it all the time. Like, what percentages are you doing in stacking your money?
Yeah.
Right? That's something you should do from the get go. Should be stacking that, especially if you have no expenses. If you're young enough, you're fortunate enough to still live at home, you have no kids, man, you should be triple, quadrupling down on what you're doing and not make any crazy rash decisions.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, hey, what is the end goal, right? If your goals are really big, okay, you're not gonna celebrate early as much.
Yes.
Like if my goal is to, this year start a nonprofit and get 20 people or 30 people off the streets, right? That's a pretty big goal.
Yeah.
Okay, that means that I got a lot of work to do, and I'm not going to be celebrating that after. You know what? Maybe it's your goal is to take your company from doing 500,000 to 5 million, right, in 3 years. That's a really big goal. Okay, I don't think you're going to be celebrating too much when you hit 750, but 750 is still 50% more than what you're doing now.
Mhm.
You guys understand that? And the guy that does celebrate when he hits 750 and celebrates hard, he's the one that doesn't make it to 5 million. Okay. The guy that's just focused on that 5 million, he's going to get it. All right. And this works with everything in every area of your life. All right. You have certain things that are going to work. Building momentum, going closer to it. Like you want to get closer to your faith. You go to church, you pray, you read the Bible. Okay. When those 3 or 4 things aren't going on, you're not getting closer. Okay. You're either stagnant or you're moving away.
Yeah.
Right. With work. Okay. In sales. If your goal is to be $1 million producer, well, are you making as many phone calls as $1 million producer makes every day? Okay. Are you sending out as many emails, as many text messages? Because if you're doing that every day, you're getting closer to your goal. If you're not, you're getting further away. And let's just say you have a couple strong months, or you knock off a couple big things, and then you stop doing those daily activities that are getting you the wins. That's when you guys start reverting. That's when you guys fall back. And that's when, in those little times that you're not doing what you need to do, if you compound those, guess what? You could be further and further and further away. Well, when you're compounding those wins, right, doing those little things every single day, okay, you're getting closer and closer. It's that simple. You're either getting further away from your goal or you're getting close to your goal. There's no in between.
Yeah, and I think also, man, like when you hit, especially something monetarily, like there's something that you want, right? Like you want a new place or you want a new car, and you've arrived, right? You've slowed down. Well, that feeling doesn't really last long. Like that's a novelty item, man. So it's like, all right, I got it. Cool, 2 weeks, a month, and you're like, all right, I'm bored of this already. Like, this is great. And then like you already like lost momentum. So get back into that swing to where like if you have goals that are driving the needle, not just revenue goals, but everything. Hey, I'm impacting this many people. Hey, I'm creating other opportunities in my company and my brand. Like that continues to grow and compound because, all right, cool. I brought in 5 new people, and then that 5 new people, next year it's going to turn into 10 new people, and then the year after that we're going to bring 20 new people. You're constantly moving and providing value to other people, where a lot of times if you're taking that self-centered approach, and there's nothing wrong with that, you want to celebrate for yourself, just don't get caught into that trap. But when you continuously celebrate, or hey, I arrived, man, you're going to hit the pavement and go backwards right then and there. And you're going to be like, oh man, why did I buy this shit? I'm not even happy. Now I slowed down over here. You got to keep your foot on the gas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the truth, man. So many people let it off way too early for a breather. I think that's the other reason why 75 Hard, if you really think about it, works so well.
Yep.
Like right now, I'm on day 64 or 65.
Awesome.
And I've been doing this almost from the start. So it's really like 10 something. I might have missed only a few days. And so doing it that way, like you can tell, like going to that 75 days, it's no joke, right? That's how long it takes to get these habits in place. So imagine if you did everything that you had to do for 75 straight days, right? What does your life look like after that?
Yeah.
Model these behaviors that you want, that add up to winning, and make sure you include them every single day for 75 straight days and see how that works out.
Yeah, and I think even bigger with that, when you continuously compound on those 75 afterwards, that's where the permanent kind of stays into place. For the first time over this last year, since doing it since 2021, I haven't gained weight. I haven't fluctuated more than 3 to 5 pounds. Why? Because I'm not eating like a garbage can when I'm off.
Nice.
I drank in a couple years, right? So I also understand, hey, like if I'm at like a Memorial Day or 4th of July or some gathering like that, I'm not going to have 10 plates. Where it's really easy. Well, hey, man, for me, like that's a problem. Like I can go off the rails really quick when it comes to food. And at your age, man, like, or at my age, I should say, like it's hard to out-train a bad diet. So
yeah.
So you create these habits now, and you create these wins and those compound effect to understand, hey, man, like I can't do that. And you should. It's not good for you. Let's be real.
I love it. Well, listen, you guys heard it here. We will catch you on Financial Fitness Friday. Take care and be great, y'all.
Hey, stole my line.
I did.